Please be aware that the following podcast may contain adult themes and adult language. Also, this is just for fun, and these are just our opinions. We're not experts, just really, really emotionally invested.
รายการต่อไปนี้
Welcome back to That's Such BL, the podcast that gives you your fix of Thai BL, with a scoop of Asian dramas, a dash of Western queer media, and a sprinkling of controversial opinions. I'm your host G.
And I'm your other host E.
And we have with us, for the whole episode, T as well.
What a treat.
What a treat indeed.
So, here we are.
Season 2.
It's the new year.
It is. New year, same bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much. We thought it would all change, and it didn't.
We were wrong.
We were very wrong, yeah.
Anyway.
Enough of that. Oh, God, yeah, so we were just talking about this. It's been...
I haven't seen you record. I wasn't actually here when you were recording the What the Duck episodes. I did listen to them,
And thank goodness, because...
you were very, very drunk by all accounts.
Oh my gosh.
So I wasn't here for a lot of December, but I did listen to the episodes, and they're very funny, guys. It was very, very funny. I did listen to it.
Yeah, thank goodness, because we went through a lot.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I enjoyed it having not seen What the Duck. So that was a very fun experience. I think you described it very well.
Before we start talking about TharnType, which will be the main subject matter for this episode, we want to tell you a little bit about what we discovered. Well, what you guys discovered, really. Mm-hmm.
So, we've lived in the same a flat area for almost 4 years now, and T has lived in this area for many years. How many years exactly? 7 altogether. We had never come across this shop that is super close to us until accidentally a couple of days ago, when we realised we have a hidden away little Asian supermarket. Well, it's not even a supermarket because it's that small near us. That stocks.
It's small, but it's got so much in it.
It's packed. It's packed with stuff.
Yeah. With Japanese, Korean, Chinese, Thai snacks, and we were like, we got to go in and get some oishi.
Hell yeah!
These product placements do their job.
I know,
they
right?
do their job. Like
I know.
we kind of roll our eyes at them and we're like, oh, another product placement scene. But it's like,
do you know what?
It's working.
Actually,
I don't mind the food ones as much as I mind the makeup ones.
Oh yeah,
because that's always just like we've just had an emotional scene, but I'm looking a bit like I'm looking a bit oily in the face.
Which scene was it where Sammy? That was her entire job, just to like push the product, the makeup product. Which was that? Was that? It wasn't Uma, was it?
Yes,
possibly.
I think it was. Because doesn't she make friends with someone in the bathroom, in the toilets at one point?
Yes,
and
they're
that's
like, oh my god, we use the same makeup.
Amazing.
For me, it was in YIU when I think like Tuta and Fighter have like literally just had a row, and Tuta's like, oh, I'm looking so dull. He pulls out his little powder puff and like does his face, and I'm like, do you know what, Queen?
So the point is, we've been sold to, and we're ready to try.
Yes, we got. There were only two flavour options available. So we got Oishi green tea and Oishi black tea, which is...
is it black tea with lemon?
Yeah.
I guess.
Amazing.
Black tea with lemon, yeah.
I'm going to try the black tea.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Do you want to try the black tea as well?
Yeah, I'll try the black tea.
I'm going to try the green tea.
This smells good.
It smells like green tea.
It smells like black tea with lemon.
Alright, ready?
No surprises so far. Oh, that's lovely.
I've never actually tasted green tea not in a hot tea form.
This is really nice. It's very simple. The lemon flavour is nice. It's not too sugary, but it is sweet.
I don't know if I could drink a whole bottle of this. I don't know how I would feel about drinking a whole thing of it.
Oh my gosh, that's so much sweeter than I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah. It's nice though.
You want to try the green tea?
Yeah, let's try it.
This does taste like pretty much every tea drink I tried in Japan.
Oh,
let me smell
love
it.
the green tea.
I don't think
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to like this one.
It's nice. No, it is nice.
How sugary is this? Oh, 5.3 grams. I can drive with that. That's right.
Let me try the green tea.
Try that. It's delicious.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
That's fruity.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, that is good.
I mean, it's definitely green tea.
That's green
like,
tea
100%,
with like
yeah.
about like 10 grams of sugar in it.
It's not 10
5.3.
grams.
Damn,
I just checked.
that's sugary. That's tasty though.
That is very tasty. I approve. Oishi.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm definitely gonna drink that later.
That green tea. Oh, I'm
I
thinking
just-
about that.
I just really want to try the one with the chewy
chewy.
cubes in it. It's so bad. So bad. It just looks great.
Mm.
They make it look so yummy.
Well, your birthday's not too far away. I'm
Okay.
gonna ship you to Thailand.
That'll probably be less expensive.
Yeah, true.
We endorse Oishi products.
We do. Sponsor us.
We are an Oishi household. Stan Oishi.
Stan Oishi. Umai
Alright.
Oishi.
Alright, cool, let's move on. So, this is a TharnType special episode because for us, TharnType has just finished. Season 2 has come and gone. The special episode has come and gone. And that is the end of the story. And it's just very emotional. If you've listened to past episodes, you know that TharnType was pretty much the beginning of our TyBL journey. So even though we don't consider it one of the best ones, it's definitely like nostalgic for us, and we hold it in our hearts very, very deeply. And MewGulf best boys, obviously.
Yes.
Without MewGulf, I just don't think it would have been nearly as good.
No, they definitely embody the characters very well. They make the series. Their chemistry is great. That's all I have to say.
It's not all you have to say.
No,
hopefully.
it's not all I have to say, but that's my summary.
So we have the first half of the season, which is basically just TharnType being domestic boys, which some people will love. I mean, some people will literally like have signed up for TharnType being domestic and cute.
Right, and I mean, like, we did the drama in season 1. Like, they went through it, so I think we can all forgive ourselves a little TharnType domestic bliss.
Yeah, fully. I mean, it wasn't unwelcome. I was definitely looking forward to like them being more domestic. You know, it's been 7 years. They're gonna be like more comfortable with each other and more just kind of like settled with each other, and I was looking forward to that. Do I think there were issues with how they acted towards each other after 7 years? Yes.
Yeah, big time.
It did not seem that way. It seemed more like it had been another
5 minutes?
Yeah. It seemed more... I mean, I think they did quite a lot to kind of convey that they have grown as people. Definitely Type. I think they did a really good job. Gulf did a really good job of showing that Type had really grown and that he had kind of learned to not be so angry.
He'd mellowed, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, he was still an angry boy, but he knew how to kind of control his emotions better. So we had that kind of plot line with him and his boss, and how like he was just like episode after episode, his boss was just being an absolute dick, and he would just like not blow up. He would like control himself, and obviously that came to a head when when he like punches him, and that's such a good moment. It's just such a good moment when he punches him, because you're just like, hell yeah. That's the Type that we know and love.
Right, season 1 Type would have done that before the boss even said anything. Like, look at me wrong, you're dead.
Yeah. The issues that Tarn and Type faced as a couple were obviously more domestic and kind of realistic. But again, do I think these issues would have come up sooner in their relationship? Absolutely. Not after 7 years.
Right, like a lot of the things that they were talking about, especially early on, some very early conflict, I was like, okay, this is not the first time it's come up. This is not the first time you're having this discussion. This is not the first time that you're airing out this, like, it felt very much like, in a way, like second series syndrome, where they have to manufacture some conflict, and for some reason it's this far in the future, but the conflict that they manufactured maybe wouldn't be, like, actual 7 years down the line conflict wouldn't necessarily make super interesting television. So instead it's like, quite explosive, big issues that you definitely would have talked about early on in the relationship. Like, Tarn is such a romantic. I do not believe this is the first time that they've been having this discussion.
Do you know what might have actually been interesting? If they had started off the series with Tarn arranging this huge proposal and Type being like, I've told you this so many times, I'm not getting married. Like, I'll be with you, but I don't want to get married, and you have to drop it or we're done. Like, that would have set up a really interesting tension.
It would have.
Because we know where Tarn is coming from and we know where Type is coming from, and that would have set into, and instead of this kind of like boring like cheating storyline bullshit like that we see in every season 2.
It's got to be a cheating storyline. It's like, no, it doesn't.
So boring. It really is. We could have actually had like some adult conflict. Like, I'm in a long-term relationship. The problems that we have, the problems that we have, but the problems that you have as a relationship ages are different to the ones that you have in the beginning. Like, jealousy isn't much of a factor.
For the first 5 or 6 episodes, it was the same structure each episode. Like, something happens to Type at work, Type comes home and he takes it out on Tarn. They have a bit of a spat, but then Type apologises and they're good. That was the first half of the season.
Right.
That was every episode. I'm not even joking. And I was just like, that you're not going to hold my attention with that. Like, yes, domestic Tarn Type, I'm here for it, but not for half of the series. Like, give me something else.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have even leaned into maybe Tarn has at the beginning of the series has a job offer presented to him in America. Like, his father moves moves back overseas, or that sort of tension happens, and he's like, I want to go to America. Come to America with me, where we can get married and adopt children. And Type's like, no, because I need to stay here, and I've got my job here, and I've got my parents here. I could have written this. That's so much more of an interesting adult conflict, than just boring. Yeah, like, my boss is mean to me, and this patient is hitting on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
The stakes weren't high enough.
Exactly.
Everything you've just suggested are high stakes, especially in an adult relationship.
Absolutely.
The main conflict for this season was Fiat. Like, not even the boss.
Who's about as interesting as like a black paper bag. Literally, no character.
But very cute. But I completely agree. If TharnType had been a completely fresh series and I knew nothing about the characters or the actors, I didn't have any attachment to them, the way that the beginning of the series went, I would have turned off after episode 3.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Which is such a shame. It's a real shame because there was definitely like more places you could go. I think it was just kind of like, just a bit kind of flat writing.
I think what I really would have appreciated more is them showing how they've grown from their university days, where they clearly had some really deep-rooted issues. Right. Obviously, Type with his past trauma, which was just never mentioned again.
Yeah.
I mean, I get after 7 years being with a man, it's like, it's not going to be much of a talking point anymore. However...
But I can still see that, with marriage as the focal point, like... That would still be a really interesting thing. It's one thing to be like, okay, I have contextualised in my own world what it means to be with this one particular man, and we're in a relationship, we love each other. And then marriage says to everyone else, I'm in a relationship with a man and I've made a commitment to a man, and it's that much more. And would that not maybe bring up some feelings for him, like,
I
this
feel
says
like
something about me, it's not just me and Tarn, it's like people will perceive me as a man.
I feel like they could have played more into that. I feel like they tried to with the whole Type has not told anyone at work that he is in a relationship with a man.
Right.
And we know from like SOTUS S that can be quite a useful tool for your series.
Well, there you go. In SOTUS S, yes, SOTUS S had its issues as well. Yeah. But one thing that they did do successfully is present more adult problems. And the idea of being in love with someone so fiercely, but also having to face the fact that perhaps you're different people and you want different things in life, and trying to make a relationship work. That's interesting. That's compelling.
And do you know what I appreciated about SOTUS S? Artists, like, deep-rooted kind of like insecurity about his sexuality didn't just go away.
Yeah.
Like, it was still there in Sotasess very predominantly.
Totally.
Yes, he was with Kong Pop, but he was still very much against anyone knowing about him being gay. And I was like, yes, like this would happen when you have such a deep-rooted issue like that. It doesn't just go away because suddenly you're with a man. Like,
Right.
you do have to work on it. And that's why I feel like the second season of TharnType shouldn't have been 7 years later. It should have been maybe 3 years later, 2-3 years later, where Type still has that internalized homophobia, and we can see him still needing to work on that 3 years into the relationship, which is, you know, it's very, very, that's a very real thing that can happen. 7 years though, like 7 years. And I feel like Tarn went backwards, actually.
Oh my
like,
God.
The whole journey of Tarn through this series has been kind of like regressing back into like being a really needy baby.
Literally,
like,
Tarn.
I don't know what they were doing there, to be honest.
I just want him to like have a little bit of self-respect. Like,
Literally.
please, it just stresses me out. All of Tarn's choices. Yeah.
So yeah, first half of the season, not great. It, like you said, E, if I didn't know anything previously and I was just coming into this, I probably wouldn't have continued with the season. But obviously did. It did pick up once Fiat kind of started being a bit more relentless. That was a weird choice as well. They clearly wanted Fiat to be the main kind of like conflict with Type and Tarn's relationship. However, it doesn't actually become a thing until really late on. What episode is it? Might be episode 9 even. Like quite late on, like when we should really start wrapping things up.
Right.
Actually, we're just hitting the main conflict.
The pacing in this is so weird.
And also, like, why would Tarn think in any way that Type is going to cheat on him? I don't understand that.
Again, right, like that's...
And yeah, I get that what I was saying earlier about deep-rooted issues wouldn't go away. And obviously Tarn has deep-rooted issues with, you know, past partners cheating on him, and he has this whole look on relationships about, like, don't break up with me because I hate breaking up. And he's got issues there, but again, 7 years on, would you think that Type would cheat on you? Like, no.
Right.
I don't get it. These are conflicts and issues that we could address 3 years on.
Yeah.
3 years of love. TharnType 3 years of love, not TharnType 7 years of fucking domestic bliss.
Literally.
Why do we have any issues anymore? It's been 7 years. You
Right.
know?
Particularly issues like that. Like, it would be, like, fair enough. Give me Tarn who sees something happening and has this whole little monologue, maybe where he talks to his brother and says, I've seen this happening, and I want to trust Type because I feel like we worked on this, but what do I, like, how do I, you know, work out what I saw with how I feel, have a conversation about it, and then come back and talk to Type calmly about it in a way that's, like, that can still be interesting and dramatic in a way without, like, immediately go to, like, well, Type is a hussy who is cheating on me, clearly. Like,
that wasn't realistic for me. Like, he really jumped to that conclusion. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. And then the whole Leo Fiat thing, like, they pretty much tell you really early on why it's happening. Like, basically, Fiat says, it's because of you. Like, that is a line in there. He goes off crying and he's like, it's all because of you. And it's like, oh, well, you've just told me.
Yeah.
You've just told me why he's doing all this.
And
he actually loves Leo, but Leo's not.
right. And it totally takes the stakes out of the whole conflict with Type. Because,
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
why would I be worried about that when actually the person who's perpetrating it also doesn't care?
Exactly. Like, now you've just told us that, like, this
Everything's gonna be
definitely
fine.
is not gonna go anywhere.
Right.
Like we didn't know that already.
I know, exactly. Like, we already know things are going to work out well for this couple.
Leo was obviously into him. Like, we were saying to each other, like, in the was it the first episode or the second episode, where they're, like, very close with each other.
Yeah.
Like they're all already in a relationship, and we were like, hang on,
Yeah.
what's going on here? And I know other people, like, online were confused about that as well. So, like, you can kind of tell that Leo's definitely into him. And then when you find out that actually Fiat is doing all this because of Leo, it's like, well, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
You just need to tell each other, like, what's going on here? You've been friends since you were children. You grew up together. Why are you not talking to each other about your feelings? Like, it's just so bizarre to me. Like, you wouldn't keep your feelings a secret from each other. You've known each other all your lives.
Right.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can see how that could work as an independent, the way they did it as an independent storyline, because I do like a good, like, best friends mutual pining, but nobody wants to admit it sort of thing. But like, in the context of this story,
in the context of this, it doesn't work because Fiat and Leo knows this. Fiat goes off and basically just like sleeps around, and Leo knows this, but like Leo's still not telling him that it hurts him and that it's because he likes him. And it's just a whole bizarre side couple plot that didn't quite work for me. Again, the stakes were not high because we found out really early on that they're into each other, so obviously they're just going to end up together. And all they needed was for Type to basically realise. It's like, it's always Type. Type always comes up with these mad, like, concoctions of just like, all right, I'm going to sort your life out, I'm going to sort your life out so that you stop ruining my life. How about that? And that's literally like, it's like the first season, like, that's how they ended that conflict. Type literally just kind of like sorted it out himself and was like, okay, I'm out, bye.
Yeah.
You do your life now, leave me alone. Too many couples. What is going on with all the couples? TharnType, we literally had TharnType.
Yeah.
80% of it. And then the stepbrothers.
Tom and Tar.
Tom and Tar.
I've just erased them from my
mind. Literally. So 80% of it, TharnType. Brilliant, beautiful. And then we had like a kind of side couple thing with Tom and Tar, but that was linked in very heavily to the story of Tarn and Type. So it wasn't just a side couple to be a side couple.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't just have their own thing going on. It was all heavily linked with each other, and that worked so well.
Yeah.
In this season, we have like 5 side couples going on, and like a couple of them like only have maybe 5 minutes of screen time maximum, and it's just like, why you don't need to bring everyone back from season 1. You really don't.
Such a weird choice. Like you said, one of the main strengths of TharnType season 1 is that it is about TharnType. We can dedicate so much time to them, their relationship, the shit they're going through, their friendships. Like, that gave us a really full picture of who they were. We got to know them. It was great. And then, like, why? I just don't understand. Okay, if you're going to bring back couples, we liked Doc and Champ. I thought that was nice. I understand why they didn't bring in a couple for Techno. That's completely fine. I get that. And then just, like, why have they brought... I don't get... Like, why bring in these other two just random? Like, why? Why would they do it?
I could have dealt with the Champ and Doc storyline. That made sense to me. Could have done without Chloe and So, actually. Like, that was just very strange. Like, if you were gonna try and do that, bring them in as a kind of main side couple. Yeah. Not just as an Easter egg. Because actually they had quite an interesting dynamic.
They did.
They were fun.
I want to say, controversially, I think we should end side couples. Because, like you said, like, I think the strength in TharnType is about the story being about them. I do enjoy side couples, but again, usually it's just like comedic filler. One thing I will give to Until We Meet Again was that I like that it was basically like the main couple and then their best friends. That's a fun dynamic. I think that's always fun. Yeah. Kind of, I suppose, actually kind of like Trapped and not really friend, but like, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing.
No, they were another good side couple.
Yeah, no, they were. But
Jack and Joji.
Yeah. But I like the idea of kind of it's when really like the side couple kind of has like nothing to do, or they're only like tangentially related. If you're going to make kind of like a conflict happen, you know, have a side couple where it's someone from like Type's someone from like the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you do have like the doctor in chat or something.
Yeah.
But like, maybe someone that he works with or someone that he's close with. What about
Type's best friend? Type's childhood
Oh, from
best
back
friend.
Yeah,
home.
I was just about to say that. So his best friend, 7 years in the future, because they had like a moment, which was actually one of the best parts of the TharnType. Maybe he's moved to he's moved to Bangkok and is like, I kind of want to meet someone, and that could be a storyline. That would be interesting, and that would develop a bit more.
I want to meet someone.
Take notes, everyone.
Yeah, I want to meet someone, and then maybe there's the jealousy element there where Type is just helping out his friend, but Tan is like, you guys have got history, you're spending a lot of time together.
That
Maybe
would have been so good.
Right, and then that would have been even if we still had the really basic, like, boo-hoo, I think you're cheating on me, like, conversation. That would have been a more interesting way to do it than just some rando we brought, like, sorry, Fiat, I'm sure you're great. Just some random person that we brought in.
It's true. It's completely
There's more
random.
texture to the story that way.
It's just bland.
Yeah.
It's just bland.
Like, TharnType had this great formula where obviously it was super popular. People liked the way that it worked out, and I think it was such a weird choice for them to be like, and now we're going to be an ensemble series.
Yeah.
Because they weren't that to begin with. People really bought into TharnType, and like, fair enough, bring in maybe one or two other couples, but don't make them just completely new people, especially if you're not going to develop their storyline and give them relevance to the plot.
Side couples, make them interesting or just cut them and replace it with a plot. That's all I want for Christmas.
That's our controversial opinions for
Literally.
this episode.
Yeah.
Like, for all, I have one more thing to say. For all, I can't believe I'm saying this actually, for all its issues, Two Moons actually
Oh my god.
didn't do a bad job of having
Well, that's more ensemble.
Another example of good ensemble
right
work.
like
Well,
I
good.
cared about
It's
Minkit,
ensemble.
and they had I mean really one of the characters fully was just 1 2 3 4 5 I love you.
Am I saying no to side couples completely? I don't think so, because some really cute good series have come from a side couple. Win and Team are getting their own series out of this because they were so popular from Umar, and if we didn't have them in Umar, then we wouldn't be getting this Between Us series, and we probably wouldn't know about Bun and Prem. So who are my boys? So one of the last things to talk about is how the season ends. And we've really just been like racking our brains to think of why this happens, why Maine thought this was a good idea. I think there's a certain amount of cultural aspect to it that maybe we don't fully understand.
Right.
But obviously we're talking about Type being ordained and
going
being a
on
monk for a month.
Yeah, I think so. My feelings about like maybe our cultural ignorance on this issue are probably yes. There's a lot of like cultural context. I mean, definitely yes. There's a lot of cultural context that we're missing out on here. So probably for Thai viewers, this makes a lot more sense, or at least like wasn't so much of a shock. And also, it's a Thai series, and they don't have any obligation. It would be very self-centered of us to think that they had any obligation to outline exactly what this means for an audience who's not culturally familiar with it. Not expecting any of that at all. What I was more surprised about was I don't feel that we've set Type up as someone, I don't believe we've ever seen him talk about spirituality, about going to a temple. I don't ever think that he's talked about his parents' relationship with spirituality either much. So it's more like, as a character, culturally, perhaps this makes perfect sense for someone who is going to do a big life decision, who's about to change something, who needs to meditate and reflect on what they're going to do, who needs to do something they feel is significant to their family. But I don't think there was enough of that in Type's character, in his backstory, for it to not seem kind of like a left field thing for him to do anyway. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It also came out of bloody nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, just absolute nowhere. In no way whatsoever before this moment has anything been hinted, any kind of spirituality or religion or anything even remotely like that has been hinted. And all of a sudden, Type's like, what if I get fully ordained as a gift to my parents. I did try to look into it a bit, but I couldn't get like an actual answer about it.
Yeah. And maybe like it is, but also I feel like, okay, so then we need some kind of like, because I don't think they discuss children much at all.
No, they don't.
So like why, so if that's something that's a really big deal to Type, to the point where he needs to make this like big, like a month is a long time, this big commitment out of his life as a gesture, why are we not having at least one conversation with his parents where they're like, we support you now, we love you, but we are really disappointed that you were not going to have grant. Like, just give me that for 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, there's been...
And then it makes sense when he goes, oh yes, I'm going to go do this thing. Like, we don't have to, as as international viewers, we don't have to understand the nuances of everything, and we don't have to have it pandering to us and being like, and this is why I'm doing this, where a Thai viewer is maybe like, oh duh, I know why you're doing this, exactly. But do give us something in the character that tells us like, that the reason he's doing it, not culturally, but just like, it's for my parents, it's because of this children, like, we have no idea that that's a conflict for you.
Yeah.
Tell us that beforehand, and then when you do something drastic, we don't need to know the cultural context. We can be like, oh, okay, this is clearly significant for him because of something we've learned earlier.
So yeah, that brings us to the special episode that we've just watched. So how did you guys feel about the special episode?
It was... parts of it were really sweet. I do feel like, as with a lot of Thai dramas, that there could have been some snappier editing. Didn't have to be as long as it did. There were lots of scenes that felt like they were maybe sort of like half scripted, half just go off on one, and they went on too long. Like, I love Mild. I think Techno's such a funny character and Mild plays him so well, but there was like a lot of long scenes of Techno just sort of like joshing with other characters, that
just talking and talking and talking, and it is very funny when he does that, and I'm amazed that like he can learn all those lines, to be honest. Like,
right,
lines you have to say very quickly.
Yeah, and he delivers them well. The acting's not bad, but I'm like, okay, like come on, like, I'm not enjoying this anymore because this scene has gone on for like 5 minutes longer than it should have done.
This scene has nothing to do with anything. You're just giving us like techno content, basically.
Yeah,
but like, so I don't need the scene to be as long as it is. Thank you.
Right, and we had, they did spend quite a bit of time montaging earlier moments, which is nice and sweet. But when the episode is almost an hour and a half long, do we need to have extensive montages of things that have happened previously? Probably not. Like, make them shorter, make them snappier, have fewer of them, and then have a nicer, more rounded episode.
They basically just flashbacked to scenes that we've just watched in season 2, but they gave us an unedited version, I guess. They gave us a slightly longer kissing scene, and I was like, this is pandering. Sorry, guys. If that wasn't like your intention, then sorry, but it was pandering. It was pandering to the hardcore 1Gs and Mew fans and Golf fans and TharnType fans. Here's a slightly longer version of this scene that we know you'll like because it's got MewGulf kissing. Give us your money.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
It was very pandering, and I didn't appreciate it.
I feel like we didn't get enough of the wedding too. Like the wedding was the really fun part, and we got lots of like, what was the real draw of the episode, and we got lots of like character conversations around, which was nice, but and I know it's meant to be a small intimate thing, but like there is that. I don't know if it was from a fan meet or something, but you know what I'm talking about? They did like, it's an early MewGulf, TharnType video where it's like they're simulating a wedding. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And that was, I think, in my opinion, a much nicer, more romantic portrayal of a wedding than... The wedding was super short.
Yeah, could have had much more of the wedding, please and thank you. That's what we all signed up for, MewGulf wedding, and we didn't get enough of it.
Yeah, God, not to sound like we're just complaining about everything.
Yeah,
but
this is really...
You get to pay for this episode. So...
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to make me pay for something, I'm going to I'm going to tear it apart if it's not good.
Send me an order of service in the post.
I feel like, we haven't really talked enough about what we liked, but...
Well,
there were bits I liked. There were bits of the season I liked. There were episodes that I thought were very strong.
I liked...
There were just more negative things about it.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked Type's career progression.
I liked his journey as a character.
His journey as a character.
That's one thing I really liked.
Yeah, that really made sense to me. We really enjoyed Doc and Champ. I thought they were very, like, when they said they were going to give Champ a romance, I was like, why? Like, seems like a weird thing to do. And then that ended up being really sincere and lovely, and we really enjoyed it. There were definitely things about it that were good. I think TharnType season 1 was better by a long way.
For sure.
Season 2 was not bad, but it just wasn't, like, TharnType season 1 had a lot of things about it, I think, that made it special, that made it a bit different, that really worked, and those things were not really well done in season 2 to make it stand up to what I expected from having watched season 1.
Oh, I just can't believe it's over, you know? It's like, it was the beginning, pretty much the beginning of our journey, and now, like, almost a year later, it's over.
I know. Oh my gosh, can you believe it really has been almost a year since we had our first... Guess what I've been watching in lockdown? Type BL.
Yeah, literally. Alright, so we've had our little TharnType chat, and it's gonna bring us into our game, which we are pleased to announce is gonna be another BL Pitch Fight. In this TharnType special episode of the podcast, obviously we are going to do a themed BL pitch fight to do with TharnType. And I'll be leading this game, being the judge, because I'm very excited about this prompt. It's something I know a lot of people, it's in a lot of people's minds right now, especially because TharnType has finished. What's going to happen for MewGulf next? We don't know. So yeah, you guessed it. Your prompt today is going to be pitch me a MewGulf series.
Love it.
Good. What's going to be their next project? I'm so excited. You can start working now.
Okay.
I won't officially start the time.
But do you have any other rules? Is it just MewGulf?
The prompt is pitch me MewGulf's next series.
Okay.
That's it. And that's why I've decided to give you a little bit more time, because I haven't really given you much to work on. Just MewGulf. It's got to be MewGulf.
Okay.
But while you start, I'm just going to say that Mew and Golf absolutely do not have to keep working together. This is just for fun. Obviously, we would love it if they were in another series as MewGulf together. However, is it likely? Probably not. Mew's already kind of like, he's doing his own thing. He's being a fucking CEO mogul, doing his music thing. Golf, also very busy. So maybe not straight away anyway, but MewGulf on hiatus for now, I would say. However, not in this podcast. It's always MewGulf in this podcast. E and T are gonna go ahead and pitch me.
Wow, he's just like typing away.
I have an idea and I'm running with it.
All right.
Yeah, they're gonna pitch me MewGulf's next series that they're gonna star in together. So I think I've given you enough of a head start now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a minute on the clock, and we'll catch up with you guys in a minute, and we'll see what we have. And the minute is up. The minute has passed. 1 minute, as always.
Exactly 1 minute.
1 minute.
So it's going to be an interesting one. I haven't given you much to go off, just that Mew and Golf are going to be in it. I think I want to hear from you first.
You want to go from me first? Okay, I'm happy to go first. However, I don't think it's what you think I've done, because I know you know me.
I'm not thinking anything right now. My head is empty.
Okay.
I'm ready to hear.
Okay, all right. Ooh, okay, let's go for this. So
I really hope you've not done the same thing.
it will be an amazing moment of telepathy if we have.
Okay.
This is the pitch for MewGulf's new series, Lessons in Love. Okay. Mew and Golf star in a new series where they play professors at a college who are competing for their research grants to be renewed.
Amazing.
Mew is a hot newbie to the Department of Linguistics, having just returned from a stint overseas. And Gulf has held a post in the mathematics department for over 5 years already, holding great esteem among colleagues and students
smart boy.
alike. Yeah.
Smart boy.
So Mew is a professor of linguistics, speaks a couple of languages.
Is he going to be speaking English?
Maybe he's going to be speaking a little bit of English. Maybe he's just come back from the States, teaching overseas. And Gulf, I love the idea of Gulf being a maths professor. I think that's really interesting. Mew is the hot newbie. Gulf has been there for quite a long time. He's had an establishment.
Interesting.
Facing budget cuts, both departments have to fight for funding, and the two come to a fierce rivalry where they each try to prove to each other that their department deserves the funding more. Pit against each other, Mew and Gulf are caught in each other's harebrained schemes to thwart the other's chances to win the funding, but somehow seem to be spending more and more time together.
Of course.
In the process, Mew and Gulf discover they have more in common than previously thought, an attraction to each other that can't be ignored.
Oh my god, you've written so much.
Just when they think they've gotten the better of each other, the university informs them both that their jobs have both been cut. However, they smell a rat as Gulf starts reviewing the numbers for the university and finds out that enormous sums of money have been laundered into local government and corruption is afoot. Mew and Gulf are then forced to team up in order to save their livelihoods and expose the university, falling for each other in the process. The series ends with them busting the dean of the university and Mew and Gulf allocating the funds fairly between their departments, having grown a newfound understanding and appreciation of each other's academic work. They also move in together and adopt a cat.
Aww.
The end.
That was just for my benefit, wasn't it?
That was me.
What kind of cat?
I was thinking about a cat that would be happy in Thailand.
So like a naked cat.
A short hair cat?
Short hair.
Yeah. They adopt a stray cat.
Like
Who
some
they
kind
name-
of breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah. Who they name Einstein. I don't know.
I really love that. Right.
So yeah, that's MewGulf's lessons in love.
I have gone a completely different direction, which is
good,
good.
okay.
Love it.
The working title of this is Mission Impossible, PAW. It will workshop it, don't worry, okay? PAW, okay?
Oh, like right?
Yeah. So, Mew and Gulf are rival competitive dog trainers competing in whatever the Thai version of Crufts is. I really wanted Chopper to be a part of this, okay?
Yes!
So
That's points already.
yeah, so they meet when Mew, who is a veteran dog trainer in the Crufts circuit, meets Gulf when he's a surprise entrant into the agility course, and Gulf wins by a landslide with his Doberman, who, again, working name is called Sprite. I'm trying to get TharnType references in. I thought Ice Cube was too on the nose.
That's gross.
Sprite. Normally, Chopper is the outright winner of this competition, so this is a massive embarrassment for Mew, who has been really smug about his victory. Maybe he's being a little bit, like, aloof, and everyone knows who he is. He's, like, big man in the competition. Anyway, after this upset, they keep meeting by accident around town in fun dog-related incidents. The suggestions I have here are Elwood's "Your dog's a gay" moment. And then at the vet, Mild is going to play the gossipy vet who's trying to set them up with each other.
Oh.
So they have some kind of fun meet cutes. They're still irritated by each other, but have some like, wow, this guy's actually cute, privately thinking moments. The tension arises when, following a spate of dog nappings within their dog competition pedigree community, Chopper and Sprite are both stolen during an agility class, which is run by Boat, who plays Champ in TharnType. Mew and Gulf must work together to find out who's responsible and rescue Chopper and Sprite before it's too late and before the next big dog show event. They eventually find out who the dogs have been stolen by Boat, who we're going to spend this whole time thinking he's like this lovely, charming, sweet man, and he's actually like the evil villain behind it.
Of course.
Who has been training pedigree dogs to do circus acts before they're shipped off to Russia, where they'll perform for the delight of Moscow's elite. Mew and Gulf rescue all the dogs and retire.
What time frame is this? It's like the 1910s.
No, it's modern day. I just thought
You just want to put a Russian
who's a
circus
good
in there.
like.
Why not?
Mew and Gulf manage to rescue all the dogs, and then they decide to retire from competitive dog events to open up a dog rescue together. So the bonus appearances are Chloe and So's actors will play the hapless ringmasters of the dog circus. Mild is the vet, Boat's the seemingly innocent but actually dastardly trainer turned dog smuggler, and Sammy, I know she's not in TharnType, but I love her and I want to put her in everything, is the only police detective in town who takes them seriously when they're investigating the dog nappings and helps them find their leads. Leads is not a pun, but I've just realised it could be.
Very
anyway,
good.
there you go, Mission
Wow.
Impossible. That's my
I
pitch.
really quite like that. Wow.
It's good, right?
Wow.
I know.
The other thought I had was at the very end, like we don't see the Dean until the very end. At the end, it's Miles.
Love that.
And he's just like, I would have gotten away with it too. Like a Scooby-Doo ending. Wow.
Well, now it's time for you to fight.
Okay.
I really like your idea though.
I like yours. I think. To be
Why
honest
do you
with
always do this? You always do this.
I
I'd say fight, and then you're like, well done, sir. No, well done to you, sir.
I think here's my problem with yours though.
All right, go on.
I like the idea of there being a bait and switch villain.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of an overused trope. A little bit, don't you think? And also, don't you think that's very similar to TharnType? Like, we have a character who we think is this lovely person, and at the very, very end, it turns out that he's horrible.
That is my other nod to TharnType.
I don't know, like, I just wanted something a bit fresher, perhaps. And also, the other thing is, like, if I was actually watching this in real life, to be able to see the idea of him like sending dogs to Moscow, I was like, okay, well, good. Like, that's just you being fanciful. Like, you should make it like he's a real bastard. Like, he's maybe like running like a dog fighting ring or something like that. Like something that's a bit grittier. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I thought about that too, but I thought that I'm imagining this as like a very
lighthearted,
silly, campy, like a bit of like a Grand Budapest Hotel sort of like.
Okay.
Everything's a bit quirky and silly and weird, and like it's dramatic, but like even when the dogs go missing, that's the scary part, and then the villain is kind of like cartoonish, and the whole it's a little bit. I don't know. That was just how I pictured it.
Yeah,
like maybe it's a bit silly and like it's not a very interesting idea, but
it's no. It's a great concept. I really, really love that idea. I'm supposed to pick holes in this. Those are the only holes I could pick because I like everything about it, and I love the idea of Chopper being basically a main character.
Yeah, but I mean, it's overdue. It's overdue.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm just sad.
He needs to be a star.
I'm just sad Chopper wasn't in. I mean, I'm sure Chopper would make a cameo. Chopper would be Chopper's the Dean. Mile takes off a mask and it's Chopper. Like in Scooby-Doo. But yeah, all right. You can pick holes in mine now.
I don't necessarily have many holes to pick in it. I think it's a fun idea. I would like to see more about, like, I would like to know more about, like, in what ways are they going to, like, be discrediting each other, like...
Oh, okay.
That I think that would be... right now, that bit feels a little bit vague,
sure,
but could be really strong and funny with the right...
I think it would be really fun for them to both have little research post-grad students who are running after them all the time, trying to organise them, and they have a little rivalry, and maybe they can be... I know I just chat on, like, side couples for literally an hour, but I think that could be really fun, where they're like, you're not going to tell Professor Mew this is... Like,
Professor Mew. Can he just be called Mew in the series?
Yeah.
Professor Mew has to be a thing.
Like, the little grads, like, post-grads, are just, like, obsessed with both their teachers and like aspire to be like them, but they also get kind of entangled in this kind of like trying to goof each other off, and like I think it'd be really funny for it to descend into like juvenile behaviour of like them like picking like rearranging like the words on each other's like plaques on their office doors so that it spells like bad words.
We'll just take the M off and it says Professor Ew.
Or them like the grad student sneaks into like Gulf's office and like erases like a lot of like the formulas on the board, or like he erases like one letter or one number that like throws the rest of the class off and things like that. Just like silly slapstick.
Oh my god, how am I going to choose? On the one hand, I love this silly, campy kind of crafts idea. I just love that idea with anyone.
It's a great idea.
With anyone, that would be
so
like fun. But it would need to be Mew because we need Chopper.
Chopper.
I don't know. It's like I'm kind of getting a YYY kind of vibe from yours. Like, it's going to be
mean,
like really fucking strange.
Zany.
And do I see MewGulf doing that?
I could see them doing that.
I can see Mew doing that.
Especially because
Like, we've said for a while now we want to see Mew in a
In a
comedy.
comedy.
Yeah.
think about his music videos. That's like practice for this script.
Mm.
In fact, I think I'm going to write this and I'm going to send it to him. Be like, collaborate with me.
As soon
I
as he
bring
sees
nothing.
Chopper's name on it, it'll be like, yes.
Yes.
Literally. Good selling point.
True, true, true.
I also do like that you have a title for it that's punny.
I mean, my title could be better. I'll be real with you. Like, it was an 11th hour choice,
Oh,
but
God.
Let me try and think of a better name for yours. That might raise your rank.
You don't want to think of one for yours?
I think
Lessons in Love.
I think that's fun and like cheesy
Hmm.
and also relevant and funny. So I made a good choice.
Oh, God, I have to think about this. I might just have to go with my gut instinct. As soon as I heard it, my gut was like, yes, this one. This is the one. And that's MewGulf Crafts.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, babe.
Thank you.
Mission
won.
Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
How about instead of Mission Impossible, how about like something stupid like Every Dog Has Its Day or something like that, you know? Or like, don't give me that look. Mission Impossible.
I love Mission Impossible. It works both
Alright,
ways.
fair enough.
All
fair
dogs go to Moscow.
enough. Wow.
And the theme
That's
song
rough.
is All Dogs Go to Heaven, but rewritten in Russian.
Why in Russian? It's a Thai series.
Get
Now I
to the
know
chopper.
that all... Oh my god.
Listeners, it is 11 p.m. at night while we're recording this. We've been doing this for a few hours and tension's afraid. I'm sad that I lost, but I'll give it up because I think Chopper is an
That was
icon.
an A move from you because you know I love Chopper.
Mm-hmm.
I made him his own Zodiac video. If you
Wait,
you need to bring it up.
show you?
Bring it up. If you follow our meme account, Type Your Memes, follow us.
Plug.
I do this. I do this series called it's Zodiac actors. I do each Zodiac and which actors fall into
What
that
star sign
Zodiac.
is Chopper?
When it came to Chopper's Zodiac, I was like, I need to do a one just for Chopper. Like, how can I not? Like, this dog is a star. He needs his own video. So I made a video just for Chopper. So you need to check that out on our page. All right then. So yes, you won that one.
Finally.
Well done.
Thank you so much for joining us on this TharnType special episode journey.
Yeah.
Did we maybe bash TharnType a bit more than I thought we would? Yeah, probably.
Well, maybe they should have thought about that before they did CV2. Maybe they should just go think about their actions. They don't care. They got their money.
They got our money.
They got neck pillow money. They're fine. They're good. Listen, for everything we bash on this podcast, or everything I bash, I should say, you guys are usually quite nice about things. Whenever I'm a guest on this podcast, I always end up going on a rant about something.
Yeah, you do. You're the controversial in our speech.
Do you know what? Your listeners, you know, they think of me, I'm sure, as like just a little bit of spice, a little bit of
Devil on your shoulder.
a little bit of Mew in a world full of mild.
What does that even mean?
Well, he's handsome. Anyway,
Mild is... We are not...
Hey, hang on. No. Season 1, mild, not handsome.
no, so he definitely had a glow up for sure.
When they changed, this is what it is about the hairstyles. I always go on
know,
about
it's the
hairstyles as
hairstyles.
soon as you change the hairstyle.
I know. Frame your face.
And
Yeah.
this is a season 2 thing. Bad plotline, great hair.
Great hair,
That's so
very
true.
good hair.
If
That's
I could
so-
say one universal thing
That's
about
so true. Your brain.
my brain.
Love
Bad plotline, good hair.
For all I bash, or we bash, we enjoy it. It's fun. Like, it's entertainment. That's what it's there for. I think it's not a bad thing to want, you know, slightly better well, not better writing, but kind of more interesting things in media. And in particular, you know, media where you've got LGBT characters. You know,
Yeah.
we are two-thirds of us are LGBT. We want to see our stories represented.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is very valid.
Yeah.
Thai BL in Thailand are getting a lot of competition now from other Asian countries
Exactly.
who are bringing forward BLs that have more of a budget, maybe have slightly better writing or companies behind them, and Thailand just need to get with the times. They need to keep up. They need to realise that they can't keep bringing out the same old thing anymore.
Well, this is the thing. This is exactly what I Told Sunset About You demonstrates, that there is clearly talent there waiting to, not to say that all the kind of like regular Thai BL series, there's no talent there. That's not true. But there is a potential for really like Hollywood class filmmaking and series making. You know, I Told Sunset About You is like cinematic. It was breathtaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very, very stressful in some parts, but just amazing on pretty much all platforms. And clearly, and also, this is the other thing as well. I know, sorry, I'm rambling, but also, you know, clearly told by people who've had an experience of being queer. So that I find really essential in just kind of translating this story. But anyway, that's all I say on that. TharnType is really fun. It's always entertaining.
Yeah, much love for TharnType. We will support TharnType forever, and MewGulf, and all of the actors. But we just had to get our true opinions out there.
Yeah.
Season 2, disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing, I think we can all say.
Bit of a stinker.
Yeah.
Hopefully will not apply to season 2 of this podcast. We hope it will improve upon our last.
Yes.
Well, if I'm here, you know it's going to be juicy.
We still aren't sure if you're going to be a regular.
Well, I live here. I live in the place where you record, so you can't necessarily get rid of me.
So yes, thank you for joining us. We hope you stay with us for season 2. We have some fun stuff in the works. We're working hard. Let's just say that we're working hard for you guys. We have plans and ideas that we really want to pull off for the podcast.
Yeah, so lots of new stuff to come. Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Stay safe. Take care.
We also run at ThaiBL Memes over on Instagram, and our podcast-specific account is at That's Such BL Podcast, where you can follow us for updates and extra content. You can also listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or your podcast app of choice. Thanks for listening.